okay, we're gonna have an intimate conversation and pretend that we're talking to millions of people, which we are going to, because it's all gonna be videoed, right? And it's live streamed as well. So, great conversation to follow on from that talk, right? How bullish travel is, how the 3 big OTAs still remain, the 3 big OTAs and how they will be in the next 5 years. So let's go with Kayak. Kayak wasn't part of the big 3, of course.
No, we're not, but we're owned by one of them, which is great.
All right, so Kayak turns 20, right? And I asked Steve for a photo of him at 20, but he didn't want to give that to me. But he did share baby Kayak. So if we can pull out the slide of baby Kayak, and what did baby Kayak look in 2014? All right, so talk
2004.
2004, sorry. Yeah, 2004. Sorry, jet lag. All right, can we have that slide, please? Yes, there we go.
We've changed a little bit over 20 years. So have I, by the way.
Well, that wasn't meant to be shown yet. That gave away my punchline. Anyway, all right, let's go to that baby Kayak with the flight comparisons. How has the picture changed?
You know, it's funny, when we launched the company, we didn't know if we were going to survive a year, but we've actually survived longer than 5 of those airlines.
I don't know whether that's a statement on the airline market in the US, But anyway, I was talking to Rob Rosenstein just now,
yeah,
right?
I saw it.
So he started Agoda in 2005, sold in 2007. He said no regrets about it being too early. You may disagree?
Yeah, I think that's total bullshit. He sold too early. You'd be a billionaire if you had waited.
Right, like you are, because you started Kayak 2004, you sold it 2013, so 9 years for 2.1 billion.
Yeah, we got lucky.
All right, okay, what were you like at 20? I know you didn't want to show me a photo, but what were you like at 20? What were you up to?
I was drinking a lot of beer, eating pizzas, being obnoxious, and then having fun in Hanover, New Hampshire.
All right, okay. You haven't changed then?
Gin, I've replaced beer with gin, but yeah.
Anyway, I want to go back to an interview you did with Phocuswright to mark this milestone, and this is what you said. You said, we had so many opportunities along the way to expand more aggressively than we did. I wish we had gambled a little bit more. Okay, so if you didn't have Glenn Fogel to answer to, would you have gambled more?
No, I mean, anything we've ever asked Glenn to support, he's supported if we have a good business case for it. So it's not Glenn or Booking Holdings holding us back, it's our own tolerance for risk. And that's actually served us quite well over time. So yeah, you always think about the opportunities you missed, but we got into Kayak Hotels, for example, lost 20 million. Could we have gone bigger? Yeah, but we would have lost $1 billion like Sonder did, right? So I think we're very pragmatic at the areas that we choose to explore, and that's overall served us very, very well.
Okay, so you're a bit more risk-averse, would you say? So you're not a gambler? You're a gambler, promoter, or founder?
I gamble in my personal life, but I don't do that in my professional life.
All right, okay. What's the biggest gamble you've ever done in your personal life?
I'm not going to go into that. Yeah, it's not a casino. It's more in relationships.
I know, absolutely. Shall we go down that road? Okay. All right. What you also said was, I also wish that Google hadn't outbid us for ITA software because we were so close to buying them. But we lost that one. It would have been a different world if we had been able to pull that caper off. What would that world look like if you had pulled that off?
Yeah, so I don't know if anyone remembers ITA software, but that's basically the tech engine that powers Google flight results. And we came very close to buying it. And if we had, as I said, pulled that caper off, we wouldn't, perhaps Google would be writing us checks, not us writing them checks, right? So we'd be able to power them. So it was a big miss. And M&A has always been very core to what Kayak does, and we've pulled off a lot of very successful acquisitions. That would have been a nice one to get to.
Right, okay, so you didn't pull that off, and now meta search is being challenged everywhere, right? I mean, we see it being challenged in whether it's Japan, Indonesia, and then in the Middle East, we heard from WeGo how they are actually evolving from meta search to a marketplace, a transaction. How do you see Google, how do you see? Is Google Flights killing meta search, including Kayak?
No, I mean, meta search as a concept is if you're a consumer, you have to go someplace to compare prices, and people do go to multiple sites and providers. You can't trust AA.com to show you United flights, for example, and there's more differentiation in prices even on the hotel side now than there ever was before. So you got to go somewhere. The sad truth is a lot of people are choosing to go to Google. So they're getting the lion's share of the growth in the industry, and you can see that reflected across the other meta players' numbers, right? We don't publicly disclose ours, but we're not where we used to be.
Right. So they're killing growth in your category, basically.
Yeah. So everyone's got to work a little bit harder. So it's more like Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, So Trivago, TripAdvisor, Skyscanner, Kayak, we're dwarves compared to them, which is I don't mind being a dwarf. We actually have a really nice business.
The dwarfs are really cute too.
Oh, I don't know. Well, I don't know which one of those is cute.
But yeah, so okay, meta search being challenged, and I know you do say you have facilitated bookings. So you do try and take your customer down to that facilitated booking. But you've also taken other bets, of course, right? So as you said, you did 3 Kayak hotels, and you closed them down this year or last year?
Last year.
Last year, okay. So why did you close them down? I mean, I know you lost 20 million. Why was it so hard? Why was it so hard to operate?
It was worth taking a risk on it. But what we found out very quickly is we don't want, running a hotel is really hard, and it's not a great use of capital. The ROI on it's really low. So, we backed away from it. And we also found out that, having the hotel didn't drive a lot of Kayak app installations. And when we did get the app installs, when the people checked out, they did leave the app. So the premise for getting into it just wasn't there for us.
Right, but good experiment. You're glad you tried it.
Yeah, I wish I hadn't tried it, honestly, because we lost money at it. But the team did a remarkably good job at it, and we did it in a very disciplined way. So we got to the conclusion and exited.
Okay, so since this is the closing session, I want to kind of take our audience onto the journey into the new age, right? Which is the theme of the conference, new age, right? So let's walk through that door, and we're in the new age, right? What's the first question that you never want to be asked again?
I was going to say that one, but I hate getting the question, why am I still at Kayak? Which I get all the time.
I didn't ask that.
Yeah, thank you. So that would be at the top of the list.
Okay. What's the first question you'd like me to ask you now?
What I want to have to drink this afternoon? You can buy me a drink if you want.
I can afford it. You're the one. You're the rich one. All right. So pretend that we are on the other side. We've gotten to the other side. What is the first thing we'll see when we get to the other side?
I think, when we cross the chasm to actual having great AI agents, which I think we will get to in the next 5 years, I think we'll look back at how we use online travel sites today and just say, God, I can't believe that's what we used to do. Right.
So before we got to that side, you said a chasm, right? So now we have to get through that chasm. How do we get through this chasm? There's so many uncertainties.
It's not a chasm, it's an evolution, and it's just going to be a lot more fragmentation. And I think it's going to happen by demographic. My mom uses Google, I use ChatGPT. My kids use TikTok. And that's how we're going to search, and that's how it's going to evolve. I'm much more open-minded to go to voice than someone who's older than me, honestly, in terms of search. But desktop's never going to go away. Text is never going to go away. If nothing else, just because you can't do that in a meeting, when you're not paying attention to someone else's presentation. Yeah. It's nice to be able to type at a computer and do your search.
But some people say actually the device will go away because they've come out, Ray-Ban has come out with sunglasses and all that. That the device is going to go away.
Yeah, I don't know. I think people are going to hang on to their phones. That's, I think you might wear smart sunglasses too. I've got a pair. They're actually pretty fun. But I think it's just going to be a proliferation of stuff, not one thing wins.
Okay, so it's not a chasm, it's an evolution. So it's not a perilous journey then. It's not dangerous.
It might be dangerous for some small startups who don't, get market traction. I don't think it's going to be dangerous for any of the incumbents.
Right. So the earlier panel basically said there's been no change in the big 3 OTAs, huge competitive modes, and they say 5 years from now, it's still going to be the same 3. that's what you believe in, that the incumbents are just going to get stronger and the small just going to wither away?
They're not going to. I mean, a lot of OTAs have gone out of business in the last few years, right? All the small ones. It's the amateurs are all gone. It's a big data world, and if you have a moat like high brand awareness, a huge marketing budget, great customer service, chances are, unless regulators do something about it, you're going to continue to amass market share.
All right, so let's talk about the different paths of the journey into the new age, right? So one bet that you're taking is corporate travel. So you think it's going to be easier to make money in corporate travel than in hotels?
For sure. I mean, corporate travel is still a broken product, and there's a lot of legacy behaviors there. So we built a better product. You don't need a credit card. We're direct connected to the airlines and to other suppliers. You don't have to do expense reports. But the issue in corporate travel is a lot of people don't want to change, or the sales cycle is 4 years. So it'll take us time to actually make an impact in corporate travel. We have a small team against it. It's profitable. We're adding accounts. I hope to announce one today, but I didn't get the green light to. But yeah, it's a better space for us to grow than going head-to-head against Google.
Right, but it's a very regulated, as you say, right, and compliant space, right? And you have a very, what I see, a maverick approach to things. So can your maverick approach work in this very regulated environment?
Yeah, it's working already.
It can? It's
just a pro version of Kayak. It's really, really great.
All right. I can't see the timer, so I have to move closer to you. I hope you don't mind.
All
right.
Makes me a little nervous.
All right. So the theme is also about agents, right?
Yeah.
And so you had Lola, which was the invention of your partner, Paul English, and now you have Otto. And so what is your take on AI agents and how that will disrupt travel?
Yeah, I mean, we're playing around with it. So, we have a team against rethinking what search could be in an AI world and, what Kayak's role could be in that, which I think we'll launch in a couple months here. Look, I think it's pretty straightforward that searching behavior is going to change, booking behavior is going to change, customer service for sure is going to change. And I think in 5 years, again, it's going to be so natural to use these agents that you're going to say to yourself, why did I ever do it the other way? Just like that photo from Kayak 20 years ago, I look at that, I'm like, holy cow, we've come a long way. I think the next 5 years, you'll say the same thing.
It's going to be accelerated, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think I can't wait till when I can have an agent that sounds like my boss, Glenn Fogel, and I can say, Glenn, make me a booking tomorrow at this hotel. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
And get me the cheapest rate. You like that?
Yeah.
But we had a conversation yesterday about agents and how it will be like, everyone will have their own agent, but you'll actually have a series of agents. Like you'll have multiple agents, right, to do your full work for you, right? So what is the agent, what other than travel, what category would you want your agent to do for you?
Read and dispose of all my mail.
Okay.
I know that sounds odd, but I don't know about you. I hate going to the post office or to my mailbox and opening it up and seeing all the crap that's in it. So if I could make that go away, it would be great. And if we could eliminate the U.S. Postal Service, that would be great too.
All right. So you talked about how transformative AI can be. I mean, the session just now was a bit lackluster on how AI dislocation of the market, right? So are you into how big AI is going to be disrupting the market, or maybe it's just going to be a ripple?
I mean, it's already disrupting the market. It's just not in ways that we can easily perceive. One of the biggest line items on our P&L for Booking Holdings is customer service. We're getting tremendous scalability on customer service, better outcomes for consumers, more productive for agents. You look at content, so like hotel pictures and descriptions and amenities. AI's made that so much better. And then you look at our marketing efficiency. So we're probably one of the biggest spenders on Google. The AI has made it so much easier for us to do keyword generation, creative generation, smart landing pages, et cetera. So I think you'll see that through all the big OTAs, P&Ls over time is, they're just going to get more profitable.
Right. And the other thing that I think you tried to do in the old world was you wanted to expand to Asia. I mean, you did take some steps into Asia. And did Rob give you advice on Asia? I mean, the Agoda in the booking culture, did they give you advice, or did they give you bad advice?
No, he's got great advice, which is Asia is not monolithic. You know, each country has its own expectations and consumer habits, payment methods, suppliers, et cetera. And you know, the best performing companies localize their products. Kayak does not do that. You know, we have one platform for every country, basically. And that's why we have made very little progress in Asia.
Right. But Booking does quite well with a very global platform, and they've really conquered Asia.
They do, but I think behind the scenes, Booking is actually customizing a lot, like payment methods, for example. So yeah, the UX, the purchase path is pretty consistent worldwide, but you know, for each Asian market, they've got 15 different purchasing options.
Okay, so facilitated bookings and then corporate travel. What other new paths do you see Kayak taking in the new age?
You know, for us, we love the meta space. The product's going to keep getting better. So product excellence is something that we're very focused on with fair families and you know, amenities, et cetera. Marketing efficiency is a big item for us. We spend hundreds of millions of dollars at Kayak on Google and other performance marketing channels. We just need to get better at that. AI is helping a lot. And then the last one is just really deep supplier relationships. You know, we're never going to be bigger than Google. We never had that aspiration. We just wanted to be better. And we wanted to have tighter relationships with the airlines, hotels, et cetera, sell their product, merchandise their product the way they want it to be sold.
Right.
So if we do those three things really well and have a lot of fun along the way with our team, because we have a small, awesome team, you know, then I feel very good about us.
Right. So I actually want to talk about team because, you know, the new age requires new talent, you know, new skills, right? So how are you hiring for a new age? You say that your core engineering team is still the core engineering team from old Kayak, right? From baby Kayak.
Yeah, there's fewer and fewer of us old-timers around. We like to have fresh eyes on the product. You know, you get a better intuition for changing consumer dynamics and behaviors if you have fresh eyes. So we turn over the team quite a bit. But yeah, my senior team, we're getting a little long in the tooth.
Right, so how are you hiring for new talent? What are the specific skills that you're looking for now versus, say, when you first started Kayak?
That's the same. You know, you're going for smart, curious people who, you know, bring energy into the room, think differently, can execute using the latest technologies, you know, are very attuned to what consumers and suppliers want these days. So fresh eyes on a problem from a rock star employee is awesome.
Right. I want to come back to the topic of AI, right? And you've spoken about how it can favor the giants, right? But there's another opinion that I read in an article that said big tech's massive investments in AI-related infrastructure aren't just sustaining their own growth. These incumbents are paving the way for the next wave of startups delivering disruptive innovation. Do you think that's just wishful thinking?
It's hard for me to imagine that there could be another great travel brand, just given how dominant the top three are and how they have a great moat on consumer habit, and that they're all investing in AI as well. So any great idea that we see out there that a startup's you know, chasing and then it's getting traction on, we either could buy them or be inspired by them and not copy them, but do it better. So that's a hard one for me to see a startup come in. Do I think one of the big platform players, like Google and Amazon, even a Microsoft, could actually make an inroad into the travel agents? Absolutely.
What about the banks? Because now, you know, we're in a world where everybody can sell travel, right? Supposedly, you know, you got travel shops, you got the banks, you got credit cards. What about them coming into this space?
They're already in the space, and you know, the big OTAs are powering them. Expedia's got a huge B2B business powering banks' offerings. And you know, if you're a Capital One card holder and you get access to exclusive tickets or a great lounge, et cetera, that's going to be appealing to you. But I think the vast majority of people don't spend enough on their credit cards, aren't Capital One preferred, et cetera. So they'll continue to use the OTAs.
All right, okay. In the new age, other than the three that we just mentioned, name 3 online travel companies that we will still be talking about.
It won't be Hopper, thankfully. It'll be Kayak, I think. That was an inside joke. No one, well, you laughed. Look, I hope Kayak will be there, and I hope the other two names are ones that we haven't heard of yet. They'll be startups.
Okay, that's
I hope it's not Trivago. I hope, no shade to TripAdvisor. I hope it's not TripAdvisor either.
Right, okay. I actually wanted to ask you the next question is like 3 online travel companies we will no longer be talking about.
Well, I just mentioned one, which
Yes.
is Hopper.
I give you a chance to mention it again.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, so many companies go out of business in the travel space. I showed you the airlines before. So there will definitely be more consolidation. And a lot of the new startups that are coming out now, they're just not going to make it.
Right. Would you do a startup again? I mean, like, Rod,
Sure.
you would do a startup and you think
Absolutely.
that you would succeed?
I think I'd have a better chance than the average bear, but that's still no guarantee of success.
Right. And what kind of startup? I mean, so looking at the travel space and this chasm that we're going through into this new age, where would you put your bet?
It wouldn't be in travel. Travel's played out. I've done that. The startup might just be a local bar. Who knows?
The local bar? All right. All right. So for those who are wanting to start their local bar or the next travel startup, for the aspiring founders, the wannabe Steve Hafners in this room, what are the qualities they're going to need in the new age?
Well, look, you just have to be very nimble and adept. You have to read the data as it comes back to you, because having hypotheses is great, but you actually have to respond to the data. You have to be well-financed, because you're going to be wrong about what you chase, and it's always better to be well-financed. And then you have to have a great team. So you need to figure out how to manage people. Being an individual contributor is not going to be enough.
And how do you manage people?
I'm fortunate to have really great team members that we're all aligned on what we want to get done, and then I trust them to actually execute against their expertise, right? So I don't meddle in our marketing campaigns. I don't try to be too prescriptive in our commercial activities. We have a great commercial team. They know our partners far better than I do.
Right.
I know my limitations, and I empower everybody else to go pursue what they want.
What is your number one limitation?
Impatience.
Right. So you must be really good at picking the right team, because clearly you say, you got a great team and then you just delegate. So is there an instinct that you have for picking the right people? Have you made some really bad mistakes about people?
I think everybody has that's managed folks and has built teams over time. My superpower isn't hiring. It's actually creating an environment where great people want to come work for us, and they can be very, very effective at their jobs.
All right, so the next 20 years, right? And so I asked AI to create an image of Steve Hafner, like 20 years from now, and that was the photo that you saw. Can we just have that slide of...
I still have my hair.
There we go, right?
That's
still
nice.
looks good, right? Still
I don't know.
Good. Okay.
I don't know. My eyes look bloodshot in that, by the way. That's probably inaccurate.
Especially after
That's probably accurate.
Yeah, but especially after the local bar, I think. But anyway, you say the first 20 years have just been amazing. What will the next 20 be like?
I think it'll continue to be amazing. I doubt I'll still be running the company in 20 years, but I look at our team that we have now. They're very focused, very engaged. We want to take advantage of all the new AI. I think we have a role to play in that future. So we're just going to get after it. And in a couple of months, you guys will be able to try some of our products, and hopefully some of it is appealing. And we'll iterate quickly against it.
Cool. Okay, we're going to go into rapid fire to end. You always strike me as a very confident person. What gives you confidence?
I try to be open-minded, and I try to take as much in from other people as possible so that I can make a good decision. And I think I'm pretty good at making, 80% of the time I make good decisions.
All right. So your imperfection is impatience, but
I have many imperfections. That's the first one that came to mind.
all right. Okay. One thing that you're confident about right now in this environment.
Well, I'm very confident in the trajectory that Kayak is on and the work that we have to get done for the next couple of years. And I'm very confident in our team's ability to execute.
All right. One thing you're least confident about?
Probably regulators' intentions vis-a-vis Google and others.
All right. So you're pretty perfect. You know, you have a couple of imperfections. But if there was one new skill that you could just download, like in the sci-fi movie, what's that skill that you want to download?
I wish I could actually figure out how machine learning and AI works. You know, it would be great to be able to have intelligent conversations with the folks on my team who do that. Because right now I'm at a complete loss.
Well, honesty is clearly one of his attributes. Please join me in thanking Steve.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve.